Okay, everyone, and welcome back.
My goodness. But you're in a hurry today, aren't you, Emmy? I have no idea how we got to the nurse's office so fast. But here we are. The nurse grins at Emmy and seems to completely ignore me. You've got plenty of time to take a shower and get to class, you know. There's no need to run through the hallways like that. I could hear you coming a mile away. Somehow, it doesn't seem like he's actually scolding Emmy at all. It's like this is a sort of routine between the two of them. Emmy does a passable imitation of remorse. I'm sorry. I won't ever do it again. Nurse and Emmy both laugh at some private joke. Suddenly, it seems that he notices me. Oh, hello, Hisao. What brings you here? Well, Hisao's officially joined me on my morning runs. I start to explain, but Emmy cuts me off. I thought he might need to visit you so that he doesn't die or anything. Oh, thanks, Emmy. The nurse raises his eyebrows in mock horror. Oh, this asshole. Yes, that would certainly put me out of a job fast, wouldn't it? Well then, Hisao, let's have a look at you. Lift up your shirt, would you? I'm suddenly very conscious of the fact that Emmy's in the room with me and blush in spite of myself. The nurse seems to sense my discomfort, but it only seems to amuse him. Great. A bit shy, are we? It's so great with the dog gobbler voice on it. He makes an apologetic bow to Emmy. Sorry, Emmy. I tried to get you a free show, but it doesn't seem to have worked. Yeah, Doc just pulled a plug. Yeah. Emmy stiffens slightly and fires a look of annoyance at him. You're an asshole! Well then. Jesus Christ. Emmy bows to me apologetically. Okay, Bun Bun, see you in a minute. I'll wait outside, okay, Sal? I begin to stammer that it's not really a big deal. She doesn't have to leave, but she's already out the door and the nurse is laughing as he watches her go. Still got it, ha! I don't follow. He laughs again, like he's in on some joke that's over my head. I can still get her flustered. It's a competition of sorts we've had going on for a while now. That sounds incredibly sinister to me, and it seems as if the nurse realizes that too. That sounded a lot worse than it actually is, come to think of it. I wasn't gonna say anything. No, you're right. I should fill you in so that you don't get the wrong idea. Nice, Nick. I'm actually relatively new here, you see. I got hired on the same year that Emmy started going here. Before that, I worked with Emmy during her initial rehab following her accident. Hold on, what? We had to amputate her legs after a really nasty car wreck. It nearly killed her, and succeeded. He shuts up abruptly, and I blink at receiving this unexpected piece of news. Well, that's not my place to say. Anyway, we've known each other for quite a while, so we have a slightly more familiar relationship that is strictly professional. He seems embarrassed, like he's done something stupid. I guess he's really worried about that. I wave a hand to let him know it's not a big deal. Don't worry, sir. I promise I'm going to be discreet. I'd been wondering about what caused Emmy to lose her legs, and that was one of the scenarios I thought of. There were only so many ways that could have happened, but actually hearing about the facts? Still a little shocking. Oh, thanks. You're a good kid, Hisao. I can see why Emmy became friends with you. She's quite indomitable, you know? What do you mean? You didn't see her learn to walk. She'd go for so much longer than the others in the hospital. She refused to quit. Normally, it takes years to get to a point where you can even think about running again. Emmy did it all in about a year. almost seems proud of her, like a father who watches his daughter win a competition or something. Hell, she'd probably have done it faster if not for the fact that we wouldn't let her. Wouldn't let her? Why not? Because she'd go for so long that her legs would start bleeding where they met her prosthetics. It's a real concern. It's why she comes by every day after she runs. To say nothing of the risk of infection if her legs got cut up and her prosthetics were dirty. But enough about that. If we don't get you on your way soon, Emmy will think we're up to something. As he says this, he gives a wink and begins checking my heartbeat. The stethoscope is way too cold. Really should have heated it up or something before he used it. After a few moments, he leans back, satisfied. Well, you sound pretty good to me, Hisao. Didn't have any chest pains while you were running, did you? Well, see, Doc, about that. No, not really. I had some trouble catching my breath, though. And my heart was racing by the end, too. Nurse frowns as I say this, but then shrugs. That's probably just because you're out of shape. But if you don't improve, then you should let me know, okay? Don't push yourself too much. And of course, if you have any chest pains, come to me immediately, alright? Put my shirt back on, and the nurse leans out of the doorway to call in Emmy.
What took you so long? Now I'm going to be late.
The nurse gives me a significant look. I was just seducing Hisao, that's all. Okay, the nurse just got so many brownie points.
What? Come on, what have I told you about seducing my friends?
Wait, that's a problem? Hold on. Whoa, slow your roll. That's a problem? I'd expected Emmy to be shocked by this, but instead she seems merely annoyed, scolding the nurse as if he were a child stealing cookies. Meanwhile, I try hard not to blush the nurse's innuendo. I'll try not to do it again, though I fear young Hisao may be lost to the female gender forever. I can't. Dog Gobbler voice is so goddamn perfect. I have zero regrets. Zero regrets. Not freaking likely. I didn't mean to say that out loud, but both the nurse and Emmy regard me for a moment before bursting into laughter again.
I told you it was funny, didn't I?
Huh. I guess Emmy does talk to the nurse about a lot of stuff. Well, Hisao, you should probably get moving. You still need a shower before class starts, don't you? It's so different now. Crap, he's got a point. It looks like I've only got half an hour. Thanks for your time. I'll see you later, Emmy. I mean, not gonna lie, kinda digging Emmy. And the nurse resembles my wife just a little bit too much. I dash out of the room as the nurse begins to remove Emmy's prosthetics. As I head down the hallway, I can just barely hear his voice drifting after me. Emmy, you've got to be more careful. I make it back to my room and shower in record time. It occurs to me that I've already been up for 4 hours and class hasn't even started yet. This is going to be a really long day. Hope I don't fall asleep in class. Let me see the other nurse. Oh gosh. Oh, I can't wait to check out these clips later. Well, that was a hell of a way to get the day going, huh? So long. Yeah, I mean. The morning sunlight streaming through my window wakes me up instead of my alarm, and I realize that it must be Sunday. Emmy has kindly deigned to give me weekends off from our morning runs. How nice of her. I don't actually know if I woke up at all yesterday, or if I just slept through the entire day. My legs groan in protest as I lever myself out of bed. All this running has really taken it out of me. Still, I can't deny that Emmy wasn't lying to me. It's gotten a little easier. I'd been worried that the runs would start to wear on my nerves, but thus far, I haven't minded them much. Hell, it's only been a week. Hey, Sal, I brought you back chocolate frogs and every flavor beans from Universal Studios. Here's 1,000 yen. Now pull the plug. I suppose there's plenty of time for me to start dreading the sound of my alarm in the morning. Not that I could ever skip out now. As Emmy said, it's harder to stop a routine when there's another person, and frankly, I don't think I'm equipped to deal with a disappointed Emmy. She'd probably give me those puppy dog eyes, and I'd feel terrible about myself. Which reminds me, wasn't I supposed to be somewhere today?
Hey, you're coming to my track meet on Sunday, right? What am I talking about? Of course you are.
Let me come in and wake you.
Right?
Those puppy dog eyes again. Of course I'm going. I owe you, right?
Exactly, so don't forget, okay?
Oh, well, crap, Emmy's track meet. Better get a move on if I don't want to miss her running, since she's the only reason I'm even considering going. Nick's like, I'm guard dog. Otherwise, it would defeat the whole purpose of going. Yeah. And so, I soon find myself quite suddenly surrounded by a crowd of people, all turning out to see our track team compete with another school like this one. I'll admit it, it's almost comforting to know we're not the only school like this. After you see that there can be 2 schools with a bunch of defective kids, well, you stop feeling so defective. You also stop feeling unique, which in most cases would be a bad thing. But in this case, sure as hell isn't. It's part of Yamaku's appeal, I guess. Learn that you're not unique. Hell, learn that there's a lot of others who would kill to be saddled with your problem instead of whatever they're dealing with. Some of the kids here aren't here because they're missing a leg or they have a heart condition. Some of them might be here because they're as good as dead in 2, maybe 3 years if they're lucky. And that's only if they get the right sort of care. It's a bitter sort of comfort to be able to say, well, at least I've got a chance of being alive through college. But there it is. I'm brought out of my rather morbid musings by the appearance of Rin near the entrance to the bleachers. You came. Of course, I said I would, didn't I? That doesn't necessarily imply that you had to follow through. Lots of people say things and don't mean them. It is best picnic. Yes. Go big or go home, I say. Well, I don't. Rin shrugs. Seemingly bored with our conversation, she turns on her heel and heads back towards the stands. I owe Emmy money now. How much do you owe the good Emmy at this point, Rin? Because I understand you've lost quite a few bets against her when it comes to, well, me. Why's that? I didn't think you'd show up. Emmy did. So, I owe her 500 yen. You two better. See, that's exactly what I was just saying. You two. I want to bet against Lily. You two bet an awful lot, don't you? Via. Another shrug from my armless companion. I don't think so. We enter the bleachers, and Red nods upwards. Up there. Fuck you, Shizune. I came out to see if you'd come. for the bet, I presume. Rin leads the way, and soon we've settled down on an almost empty bench. Why, hello! You're new. There's an older woman sitting next to Rin. Someone's mother, I assume. She's got rather long hair done up in a braid. On seeing Rin, she gives her an oddly familiar-seeming grin.
Wow, this is surprising. I thought you went to go get a snack, not a boy.
Huh? A snack? I wondered why I was down there. The woman laughs again in a way that seems familiar. Where have I seen her before? Slight modulation of my form.
Well, I suppose you've always been one to go out for one thing and bring back another. But I'm being rude. I haven't introduced myself. I'm Meizu Ibarasaki, Emmy's mother.
Yes, bitches, she's fucking Monica.
Pleased to meet you.
Well, that explains it. She's like a taller, older, and better endowed Emmy. Apart from her hair being a darker shade of Emmy's, there's really no mistaking the resemblance.
That's our voice, you blonde braided bitch.
Sorry, I'm, yeah, okay, so Monica fits. Sorry, I'm Hisao, Hisao Nakai. And really, you don't have to apologize for not introducing yourself, Mrs. Ibarasaki. That's really Bryn's job in this situation, isn't it? Another laugh from Emmy's mother.
I take it you've not known Rin for that long, then. It's best not to expect her to remember something like that. She's got other things to think about, I assume.
Rin nods, seeming pleased by this assessment. She's right. I was thinking about sunsets.
You see? It's really up to us to make introductions and the like.
For lack of any better response, I nod. Mrs. Ibarasaki leans back a little on her seat and raises an eyebrow.
So, how long have you and Ren been dating?
My response consists of silence as my brain suddenly lurches into gear. But just before I can begin to utter a hastily babbled explanation, Emmy's mother bursts into laughter again.
You're a blusher, aren't you?
Don't know if there's any way to keep my dignity in this situation, so I'll settle for a mumbled response. Maybe.
So, this must be a new romance then, mustn't it?
Wait, that's not the question. Another laugh.
I know, but it's funny to watch you squirm. I'm sorry for giving old woman her amusements.
Old woman? She sure doesn't look that old to me. Clearly, Emmy gets her youthful features from her mother. I suppose I can let it go.
How kind of you.
It's starting. I direct my attention to the track, where they're preparing for the first sprint. Looks like the 400-meter dash. My eyes scan the runners before finding Emmy. She's smiling, with an almost cocky look on her face. The starter raises his pistol. Emmy explodes off the block, disappearing from the starting line in a blur. It's It's amazing. Even as the other sprinters converge on the lanes closest to the inside line, Emmy surges to the front of the pack. By the time she rounds the final turn, some of the other runners have caught up with her. Their efforts come to naught, though, since a final burst of speed from Emmy leaves them at least a half a second behind. Mrs. Ibarazaki whoops and shouts, applauding wildly and generally looking like any other parent cheering on their child. Emmy bounds off the track looking pleased with herself. I cheer right along with the rest of them. The announcer, sounding suspiciously like Misha, gleefully gives the results. Oh, thank God I don't have to do it. Oh, good. You're in good company here. We're all sleazeballs here. I mean, hello, we're playing visual novels.
I think she's gotten faster since last time.
That was incredible. Mrs. Ibarazaki grins proudly.
Emmy's a heck of a runner.
We fall silent as the next event is being prepared. I'm surprised to see Emmy striding out onto the track again. Wait, didn't she just run? Emmy's mother nods.
Yes, but she runs multiple events for the team, especially the sprints. It's a lot of running, but Emmy can handle it.
From the looks of things, she's right. Emmy doesn't appear to be tired, as if she hadn't run the previous event at all. If not for the sweat visible on her shirt, you'd never know. Which event is this?
It's the 200-meter dash. She'll do this one, the 100-meter, and the relay.
I see. Once again, the pistol sounds, and once again, Emmy flies off the block. A thumping sound draws my attention away from the race. It's Rin's foot. She seems completely absorbed in the race. Emmy's mother cheers again, and I assume that the race is over. Sprints don't seem to me like they'd take very long to complete. Your foot. Your foot was bouncing on the bleachers. Oh. You seem pretty into this stuff. I'm surprised.
Okay, later, Greg-senpai.
Rin looks at me quizzically. Why wouldn't I be? No reason. I just thought stuff like sports wouldn't interest you. I suppose you're right. It's not that interesting. But I'm watching Emmy, not the sport. I don't follow. Emmy's the most Emmy when she runs. You don't get to see Emmy at her Emmiest very often. But here, you can. See? She directs my attention towards the track again, where the 100-meter dash is about to start. I watch Emmy closely. As she gets onto the starter blocks, her whole body seems to relax, but it's a false relaxation. I can see that she's actually like a coiled spring. As the starter tells everyone to get set, her head snaps up, and her eyes narrow slightly. Her mouth curls upward in what could be a grin and could be a growl. When the pistol goes off, it's as if she's been unleashed from a cage. Like she was always moving at this blinding speed, but we couldn't see it happening until the starter's pistol dispelled the illusion of motionlessness. It's all over in a few seconds, but in those few seconds I feel like I just witnessed something very personal for Emmy. As soon as she crossed the finish line, the fierce look was replaced by her normal grin. The conquering general returning to his farm. Amazing. She's really amazing. I've never seen anyone move that fast.
Well, don't look at me. I'm far too relaxed to run that fast. No, I think Emmy's prowess all came from her father's side.
At the mention of Emmy's father, Mrs. Ibarazaki looks wistful, almost sad.
He got her into running, you know.
Yeah, she told me. I'm uncertain as to whether or not it would be rude of me to ask after Emmy's father. But after that look on her face a few days ago, I feel compelled to ask. Where is her father now, if I might ask? Emmy's mother hesitates, clearly not willing to answer the question, but at the same time, not wishing to appear rude.
He isn't around anymore.
I'm sorry. Didn't mean to bring up bad memories. Emmy just seemed a little sad when she mentioned him earlier.
That's not surprising, considering. They were very close.
I see.
Oh, Aztec. Thank you.
A beeping noise suddenly emanates from Mrs. Ibarazaki's pocket. Reaching into it, she pulls out a cell phone and looks at it.
Honestly, text messages? What is he, 16? Oh, nothing. I've got to go meet up with a friend of mine. Will you tell Emmy that I'm very proud of her and that I'll call her later tonight?
Of course. I'll admit that I zone out for a while. I almost don't notice that the relay's about to begin. When I look, I can't find Emmy. You get points for making Via laugh, Nick. I thought that Emmy would be running the relay. She runs anchor. So, she won't be running for a while yet.
There you go. Thank you, Bun Bun.
Ah. Did you see it? Huh? Emmy. At her Emmyest. Maybe. Maybe this time. Race begins, and I cheer Emmy's teammates along as they pass the baton. Finally, I see Emmy sprinting onto the track to take the final handoff. Once again, I'm taken aback by how graceful she looks when she runs. It really is beautiful. The look of determination and fearlessness on her face only adds to the picture. Emmy at her Emmyest, I suppose. Yeah. I was totally not asking myself the same question. No, of course not. But then, as she crosses the finish line, I see her stumble slightly. It's only barely, but it's a definite stumble. Rin inhales sharply and only looks concerned for a second. Oh, Emmy. Did she hurt herself, do you think? You noticed it too? It must be bad. She frowns, as if deciding on the next course of action. Eventually, that proves to be too tiresome, and she shrugs again. Well, let's go down. Gotta crown the victor. See if you can find a laurel branch. That's not going to be easy. Rin shrugs. At least we tried. Well, we didn't really try all that hard, or at all, but hey, whatever. Emmy is surrounded by her teammates, all of them congratulating her on the run. Ren seems to be waiting for Emmy to notice that she's arrived. Oh yeah, I guess she can't exactly wave Emmy over. Right. Yes. Thank you, Bun Bun. Then again, I'm not sure that Ren would do such a thing even if she had arms. It just doesn't seem her style to draw attention to herself or to emote beyond shrugging. Either way, I'm not willing to wait, so I wave to Emmy, who looks up and grins happily at me. Us.
Hey, you showed up! Guess Ren owes me money, huh?
We would have brought you a crown of laurels, but Sao didn't find one. Oh! Watcher, thanks for the sub. Hey, neither did you. It wasn't my job to look. Oh, that was you, Aztec. Oh, right on. Oh, you know what? That's right. Oh, I got you. Oh. Okay. Got it. So it was notifying me. Okay, that's why the animation. I need to fix that animation. That wasn't my sub animation. Okay, cool. Well, Aztec, thanks for the sub. It wasn't my job to look. When did we assign jobs? When I said, see if you can find a laurel branch. Try to keep up. I shrug. Guess Rin's rubbing off on me. Seems it's my fault after all, Emmy. Emmy laughs at Rin and me.
That's okay. I'm sure you'll make it up to me somehow.
Sure.
Good. So, how'd I look?
I stop myself from blurting out beautiful or amazing and settle for the substantially safer, very impressive. Emmy seems pleased with this assessment. I don't mention how much more impressive her performance is given her lack of legs. I figure she knows that already. Besides, it seems like it would take away from her efforts somehow.
Great to hear. I was worried that I looked a little slow on the relay, but I guess I did fine, huh?
Actually, I noticed Rin kicks me and keeps me from finishing my sentence.
What was that all about?
He noticed it at the end.
That's no good. Guess the nurse will look at it for me later.
There's a carelessness in her voice, as if it wasn't a big deal. But suddenly, I notice a slight twitch on her face, like she's trying to hide the fact that she's in pain. It's then that I notice her breathing is a little shallow, too. Guess she really is hurt. She must notice my concern, because she skips up to me and gives me a friendly pat on the shoulder.
Hey, you look a little worried. I'm fine, really. It's just sore from all the running is all.
Nick.
And come on, a little pain isn't gonna stop me.
Oh no? Emmy grins, and for a moment, she looks like she did during her sprint. Fierce, unconquerable. Or, to put it another way, really beautiful.
Hasn't yet.
Well then, I guess I shouldn't worry, huh?
Damn right. I'm Emmy Ibarrazaki, fastest thing with no legs. I don't stop for anything.
Impressive. Emmy giggles, and then seems to remember something.
Oh, before I forget, Ren and I are going to do something next Sunday as a post-track meet celebration. You should come along. Normally we do it the day after, but since track meet was on a Sunday, I've got homework and class and all that stuff to take care of. Plus our morning run, of course.
Right. Of course. Oh, right. Your mom wanted to say she's proud of you. She'll call you later tonight.
I thought I saw her in the stands. I'm glad she made it. Used to be my dad showed up to my meets, but Mom's done a pretty good job taking over.
Oh. She shivers slightly, and I realize she's still all sweaty. breeze has started to blow too. I'm not cold at all, but I've got my jacket with me, so without a word, I throw it around her shoulders. Fair play to you, Sal. Nice. Emmy jumps slightly and then grins at me.
Hey, thanks! It's getting a little cold, I guess.
Yeah, looked like it. Just as I begin to wonder whether or not giving Emmy my jacket could be taken the wrong way, a boy in a track uniform approaches. Hey, Emmy, you're gonna miss the medal ceremony.
Oh yeah, thanks.
She turns to Rin and myself.
You don't have to stick around for this part. It takes forever. Besides, you should get cracking on your homework now if you don't want to be up late in his house. Morning run tomorrow, don't forget.
How could I?
Good point. I mean, it's spending time with me, after all.
With this, she waves quickly and dashes off to receive her medals, or whatever they pass off as a medal these days. Rin and I head away from the track, Rin remaining deep in whatever thoughts she has for most of the walk back to her dorm. As I see her off, she speaks up. You're probably not getting that coat back, I think. I'm sure I'll get it back eventually. Interesting. Take it as it comes, huh? Very Emmy-ish. With this odd statement, she turns and heads into the building. Honestly, was it that big of a deal? Emmy was cold, and, unless I'm mistaken, in pain. Giving her a solution to at least one of those problems seems like an obvious reaction. Though, I guess there is a chance I could lose my jacket if Emmy never remembers to return it. I guess Rin has a point. Still, I can't bring myself to muster much worry over the whole thing. After all, it's been getting warmer lately. I don't need a jacket. Odd. I think I used to be a little more responsible with my stuff. Emmy-ish, huh? Maybe that's not really a bad thing. Neat. You haven't been forgetting to take your medicine, have you? I'm catching a little murmur. You should take it easy for a few days. The nurse's words hurt me far more than the exhaustion of the morning run ever could. Take it easy for a few days? I knew I should have kept quiet. Hot dogs, yes. Keep my eyes on the floor, feeling like a complete idiot. Of course, I hadn't been remembering to take my medicine. I've been rushing out of my room to get to the track before Emmy. After the track meet a few days ago, I felt inspired. So, I've been running warm-up laps in the morning before Emmy shows up. But then today, while she and I were running, I felt a little pain in my chest. It was only slight, and it was only for a second, so I mentioned it to the nurse. Honestly, it wasn't even that bad. I mean, I kept running, and I finished just fine, so really, it couldn't have been that bad. Why do I feel like I'm making excuses to the nurse? Moreover, why do I feel a need to justify coming to run despite the pain? Why do I feel a need to justify continuing to run despite the pain? Really, it comes down to my being unwilling to... Really, it comes down to my being unwilling to concern Emmy, who seemed concerned anyway. Not sure how she was able to tell there was anything wrong, but she claims I stumbled a little. She's the one who insisted I tell the nurse, so now I feel bad for worrying her at all. The nurse is shaking his head ruefully while Emmy paces outside the room. Hisao, I know it's difficult for you to get into a new routine, but if you don't want to find yourself in a lot of trouble, you're going to have to try harder. You can't afford to forget your pills, and you can't push yourself too hard. But if I don't push myself, how will I improve? I don't know where that came from. The nurse seems to have an idea. Now, where have I heard that before? He laughs and pats me on the shoulder. Ha! She's rubbing off on you, I guess. His expression changes again, and he's back in serious mode. Look, I'm not saying you shouldn't push yourself. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be taking your medication, and it doesn't mean you shouldn't stop if your chest starts to bother you. I'd prefer not to have any fatalities while I'm on staff here. Bit of a lofty goal, to be sure, but I'm always up for a challenge. Hate to admit it, I think he's right. Gotta remember to take my medication. You're right. Sorry to worry you. Who's worried? You're the smart kid, right? I know you can be responsible, Hisao. A situation like yours, you've got to learn to be responsible fast. I know. His expression suddenly becomes devious. I suppose you've started to enjoy your runs with Emmy then, huh? Yeah, they've really been helping me. I mean, until today, I was feeling a lot more healthy. Plus, it's really impressive to see Emmy run. Did you see her at the track meet? She was incredible. The nurse nods, grinning all the while. That she was, Hisao. I watched her first couple of races before I had some business to take care of, but she told me all about it. Kind of you to loan her your jacket, by the way. Huh? Oh, yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal. I had honestly forgotten all about that. I still haven't gotten it back. The nurse gets a smile that makes me feel like he's just made a joke. Not to you, but Emmy certainly appreciated it. And I know she appreciates you running with her in the mornings. Via. This one catches me off guard a little. Sure, she mentioned that it's easier to keep to a schedule with an extra person. I didn't think I was doing her a favor at all. I thought she was doing me the favor of helping me follow the doctor's orders. She tries harder when you're around. If there's someone else running with her, she's going to push herself more. And she tries even harder when you're around because, well, it's you. The heck does that mean? Oh, you'd love to know, wouldn't you? Oh boy. He laughs in the style of evil megalomaniacs. I don't know. I got nothing. No, seriously? It's because you're her friend. If Rin ran with her, I'm sure she'd do the same. Well, probably. But that's not the point. The point is, you're helping her, even if you don't know you are. And she's grateful for that, even if she never says it. What do you mean, even if she never says it? Emmy doesn't talk a lot. Bull fucking shit! Excuse me. Emmy doesn't talk a lot, but she and I have known each other long enough that I can read her most of the time. I'll admit it, I have no idea what he's talking about. Via. Emmy seems pretty talkative to me. I see. Nurse suddenly realizes that he's been rambling and stops talking, looking a little embarrassed. Anyway, you don't have to stop your morning exercise. Just walk the track instead of running for a few days. Let things calm down. And take your damn medicine! I laugh as I exit the office, bumping straight into Emmy. Oops. Sorry about that.
Are you okay? What did the nurse say? Do you need to go to the hospital? Oh my gosh, it was my fault, wasn't it? I've been pushing you too hard, haven't I? I'm a horrible person.
The words pour forth like a torrent. She's really agitated. Didn't expect her to be this concerned about me, to be honest. Gotta calm her down, but how the hell do I do that? I do the only thing I can think of. I give her a hug. Emmy tenses up slightly, so I pat her head in what I hope is a reassuring manner. And all I see is the Big Hero 6 head pat. There. okay. Settle down. I'm fine, okay? No worries. I can feel Emmy's body relax as I continue to assure her I'm fine. Her arms wrap around me as if she's trying to confirm that I'm not about to fall over dead. I catch a whiff of her hair. It smells like sweat, or how adrenaline should smell. It's the scent of activity. And a hint of strawberries. Her shampoo, I suspect. I just need to remember to take my medicine, that's all. Don't worry about it. It's not your fault.
You sure?
Her voice is muffled, mostly because at the moment her face is pressed into my chest. Yeah, I'm sure. Just need to take it a little easy for the next few days. It suddenly occurs to me how close the two of us are. Also occurs to me how nice being this close feels. I can feel Emmy's heartbeat calming down, and I have to resist the urge to rest my chin on top of her head.
Thank goodness. You really had me worried there, Sal.
Emmy, you gonna come in here anytime soon? Oh, I'm sorry. Was I interrupting? The two of us spring apart as if the other just caught on fire. Emmy brushes her hair back nervously and laughs.
Of course not. I'll see you later, okay? Oh, and Sal? Take your damn medicine!
This last phrase is punctuated by a punch to the shoulder. Oh, how soon of you. Yeah, I'll remember. See you later. Nurse smiles again like he's on some joke I don't know about and waves to me as I head for my room, feeling a burning in my cheeks. I need a shower. Cold one. The thoughts running through my head now are any indication. She was really soft. My pills are waiting for me when I make it to my room. Swallow them without a second thought. Don't know why I didn't think of waiting until after the runs to take them. For some reason, I figured it was when I woke up or not at all. Oh, Hisao. But no, they need to be taken every 24 hours. The exact time of day doesn't factor into it. Well, okay, Hisao, My thoughts drift back to the hug in the hallway. It's weird. You'd expect someone to smell foul after a run, but for some reason Emmy smelled right. A tinge of sweat just seemed to fit her. I really need that shower. Back into the fray. Sorry, I had to get a kiss from my wife.
Don't be jealous.
You know they're gonna be. Probably. Alright. Strange that it feels so natural for me to go up to the roof these days. Never would have done such a thing in my old school. In those days, I liked to eat alone. No, that's not quite true. Though, I like to sit alone. I also like to watch people. Always figured that was the sort of person I was, but it appears I was wrong. Then again, I also thought I was the sort of person who had a normal heart, so there you have it. I don't know myself that well. Now, I'm on the roof so that I can have lunch with a couple of people. And they're both girls, which is even stranger. Oddly enough, I feel closer to Emmy and Rin than I felt to anyone in my old school. Somehow, I get the feeling they'd at least visit me if I wound up in the hospital. I focus on the view from the roof, banishing such thoughts from my head. There's a slight breeze. There's a slight breeze blowing, and the sun is shining high in the sky. The sky itself is a deep blue, with hardly a cloud in it. That's not what I see! Anyway, it's gotten pleasantly warm, and as I sit down to wait for my friends, I close my eyes and enjoy the feeling of the sun scalding my skin. Yep. Beautiful day outside. Birds are singing. Flowers are blooming. Days like these, you're gonna die if it takes me 50 fucking times, you asshole. Voices intrude upon the edge of hearing.
Seems to have fallen asleep on us, Ren.
Maybe he's faking to lull us into a false sense of security.
Why would he do that?
No idea.
Still, you make a good point. We should kick him or something. Make sure he's really asleep.
Huh, what? Emmy looms over me like only a short girl can, peering at me intently.
Oh, you're awake. I guess we didn't have to kick you then.
Was it all part of your master plan?
What are you talking about? Emmy shrugs, her twin tails bouncing with emotion.
I'm not sure either. You must be pretty tired to fall asleep out here. Although, it's pretty comfortable, I suppose.
She plops down next to me and begins to eat. Joke's on you, kicks are my fetish. Yeah, Aztec, you're gonna get along fine here. Rin sits opposite from the two of us, a move which only makes me more aware of the girl sitting next to me. If I didn't know any better, I'd swear Rin did it on purpose. I concentrate on my food, trying to tune out the majority of the conversation that Rin and Emmy are having. Despite my best efforts, however, I still find myself glancing over at Emmy when she speaks. I notice how she purses her lips when she's thinking about something, squinting slightly as if that would improve her thinking ability. Rin says something that makes Emmy laugh, and I notice, perhaps for the first time, how she laughs with her whole body, rocking back and forth, head thrown back, almost like she's about to fall over. I probably look like a creep. It's about this time that I realize Emmy's looking at me, her voice raised slightly, so she's probably just asked me a question. Huh? Sorry, I zoned out for a minute there. Emmy rolls her eyes with a slight quirk of the eyebrow. Emmy rolls her eyes, while a slight quirk of the eyebrow is the only sign Rin's even paying attention.
I said, did you get a career survey in your class too? You know, one of those, what do you want to do after high school things?
I don't think so. Maybe we'll get one tomorrow.
What are you going to put down?
That's a really good question. I guess I always figured I'd go to college after high school, but no idea what I'd do once I got there. And with a heart attack and all, I'd really been concentrating on each day as it came rather than making long-term plans. Suppose I can safely start planning ahead again. I've always liked having at least a vague plan for my future, so it'll be nice to come up with one again. Of course, that doesn't change the fact that right now I've got absolutely no clue. Always kind of assumed I'd figure it out in college, that or just become a salaryman. It's pretty popular. But do I really want to? It's a tough question. I guess I don't really want to do anything.
You don't sound very excited about that one, do you?
Yeah, even 4 of them. Yeah, try not to do that. She laughs as she says this, and I'm caught in her laugh again. So girlish, high and giggly, like a, well, pardon the cliche, but like a babbling brook. Bubbles out of her, starting in her belly and working its way up her throat. I can't help but laugh myself. It's infectious. Yeah, guess I'm pretty unhappy with the salaryman idea. But to be honest, I haven't given it much thought to the future recently. Suppose that these days I've been more concerned with living one day at a time. Emmy considers this for a moment and grins.
That's a pretty good idea, Sal. I just wrote down pirate.
Okay, Emmy. Okay, Emmy. I'm momentarily stunned, and I start laughing. I stop myself and manage to gasp out a question. You're not actually serious, are you? Emmy looks mock offended.
Well, I've got the legs for it already, so I just kind of figured.
Even Rin seems amused by this.
Just you wait. I'll be the terror of the high seas. I'll show you all. I've even been working on my pirate voice.
Oh, God, help me. No, please, Emmy. Emmy, don't do this to me. Don't do this. She suddenly springs up and begins swaggering up and down the rooftop, shouting orders. God, I hate my life. I hate life. Joke's on you. Emmy is shit at this.
Yeah, me hearties, give him a broadside with the long guns. Whoa, what are your guts for garters?
Got my wife going. Do you even know what that means? Rin's unexpected interruption stops Emmy in her tracks.
Not really. But it's all in the delivery.
Yes. Her ringing of the bell prevents her from demonstrating her point further. Thank fuck! Aw, fuck you, Nick. Emmy dashes off immediately, leaving Rin and myself alone on the roof. Rin stares at me intently for a few moments. Nick is my clip master. That is quite literally his exclusive job here. And he does it so goddamn well. Is there something wrong? Rin considers this question closely for a moment. After a lengthy pause, she shakes her head. Nope. Oh. Why the staring, then? Rin shakes her head again. Nope. I don't get it. Get what? The staring thing. You two seem to, but I don't. Great. She saw me staring. Now she probably thinks I'm a pervert or something. Actually, probably not. This is Rin we're talking about, after all. Still, I feel the need to defend myself. I wasn't staring. Just tired. Rin actually snorts at this, but she doesn't say anything. No, really, I was just distracted, is all. Eager to end this conversation, I head back down to class.
Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and ring those bells. That's all I have for today. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye, everyone.